our speakers for all of that wonderful.
Domestic violence is a pattern of coercive and controlling behaviors that can include physical abuse, emotional or psychological abuse, sexual abuse, and financial abuse. It is about control versus respect. Unfortunately, we are here this afternoon because domestic violence is a pervasive, life-threatening crime that affects millions of individuals across the United States each year, regardless of age, economic status, race, religion, or education. Over the past year, Louisiana has experienced 55 domestic violence fatalities with 43 other homicides that occurred in the context of domestic violence. Currently, there are another 3 individuals missing but presumed dead. In St. Tammany and Washington parishes, we experienced a total of 4 homicides from September 2015 to September 2016. Since 1997, Louisiana has consistently ranked high in the nation for the rate of women killed by men, and this year, Louisiana is ranked number 2. According to the Violence Policy Center, when men kill women, Louisiana women are killed at a rate 3 times higher than the national average.
In fact, domestic violence is one of the most common crimes of violence, but it is a fact that it is the least reported, and certainly one of the most difficult to prosecute. In the United States, 3 women are murdered every day by their partners. 3 women every day are murdered. That's how serious it is. I want you to know that we at the DA's office not only want to have the best domestic violence unit, we want to eliminate domestic violence in any way that we can. And that includes prosecuting, but that also includes working with the other service providers, with the judges, with the entire community, and all of us working together. Maybe we can't eliminate it, but we can certainly diminish it. So it's a privilege for me to be involved in this fight, in this battle. I think we're going to win this battle. We have outstanding team members working together. We have an outstanding community. I'm honored to be part of it, and I want you to know that we will not turn away. We're not going to look away. We're going to fight it to the end.
You often get victims who, once charges are filed, and they come in and they say, we're no longer interested in prosecuting the case. And part of that can be because of the realization that if the person has done this before, or even if it is the first time, they could be facing jail time. And those other aspects come in of not wanting to see that person be punished for it and go to jail, of being concerned about the household and how they're going to maintain on. So as a prosecutor, one of the things that we can do is listen to the victim and listen to what their concerns are and listen to what the history they have is, and then explain to them that it is not an all or nothing game. This is not, we are prosecuting and we're going to send them to jail for as long as we can. We can tell them that there are alternatives. There's education, there's supervision. There are things that can be done to break that cycle of violence without necessarily having to rip the family apart and make that victim feel like they're responsible for ripping the family apart.
I've never been a victim of domestic violence, but I talk to victims every day. I can see how hard it must be for them to call or even come in and discuss an incident that happened with their loved one. Some people come into our office and want to drop charges immediately and claim it was all a mistake. Yet it is our job and duty to hold the abuser accountable for what they have done. Some victims understand this and work with us. Some victims ignore our every effort and dodge our every move. In the end, justice always wins. As a victim assistance coordinator, it is my job to make sure our victims have a voice in court. Within days of their abuser's arrest, we are reaching out to victims. We believe this is crucial for their safety. We want to make sure they feel comfortable in working with us. We maintain contact through letters and phone calls throughout the trial process. We also provide a list of resources when the victim is in need of help or shelter. Communication with them from the beginning not only lets them know we care, but it can help us in the future when it comes time to go to trial. Help me give victims a voice in court and end the silence.
We know because of studies by the healthcare industry that one exposure to family violence can make children statistically more likely to be, for example, intravenous drug users. It can make them statistically and profoundly statistically more likely to commit suicide or to attempt suicide. It can affect their abilities later in life to form any type of meaningful bond. So when we all gather here, I'm talking to people who care about families. In the 22nd JDC, we take a certain amount of pride at having what we hope to be a best practices look at this. The Sheriff's Office and law enforcement quickly gathers information for a Gwynn's Law hearing, which is the model for the rest of the state and the envy of law enforcement and advocacy groups around the country. We're engaging in meaningful risk assessment within 24 hours on all arrestees, whether the lead charge is domestic violence or not. We have an advocacy center that is second to none. We have a clerk's office that employs people who every single day receive uneducated people, teach them as much as they can about the process, and demonstrate day in and day out that they care deeply about the men and women who come in for help. But at the same time, we can do more to create a community response that is coordinated and meaningful and continue to work with each other.